I'm Jen and welcome back to my channel. So if you're a woman over 40 or 50 like me and struggling to get in the protein that you need because you want to firm up, change your body composition, not be skinny fat, and are struggling to get in the protein and you want to use protein powders to help you supplement, but you're just overwhelmed by protein powders because you don't know what to get because there's so many options, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down different protein powders, how you can utilize them other than just drinking them, and kind of the difference of the protein powders that are out there. So this is always a struggle for me. I've always needed to get in more protein. I used to be vegetarian, so I would try different ways to get in more protein. So I've experimented with a lot of protein powders and the different options that are out there. So now you don't have to struggle. You can utilize this video to help you in deciding what you're going to purchase and how you can use the powders. So first of all, you have to know that not all protein is created equal. There's actually a book about it. I'll insert the title. I forget what it is, but I really was not aware about this in my search. I think it's actually called Search for the Perfect Protein. That's why there is a difference, and I'm going to help you figure out what to get. Just know we need, as women, as we are aging, if you're over 40 or 50, we need more protein in order to build muscle, in order to change our body composition. Anybody can be skinny, but as you get older, you want to be firm so that your skin looks better, you have less cellulite, less crepey skin, your skin's not hanging off of you. And sometimes eating all the protein is hard, so protein powders are a good way for a lot of people to supplement and get in more protein. Another reason I like protein powders is because there are so many options. I don't like a lot of protein sources. Like, I'm not a big lover of meat or fish or eggs. So it just gives me another option to rotate in order to help me bump up my protein and a lot of times get to over 150 grams of protein a day. I usually have one serving of protein powder a day, which helps me get over my 150 grams of protein a day, but that was a longer process in order for me to get there. So don't be overwhelmed thinking it's easy to get in that much protein. Obviously, it's not. A lot of women that come into my programs struggle with even appetite. If you are on some type of GLP-1 medication and you have a low appetite, but you need more protein, then protein powders are an amazing way to help you get to your protein goals and help you change your body. First, who am I? So I'm Jen. I am a mom of 3. I had my last baby at 45. I've always been skinny fat. I've always really struggled to have a firm body until I decided a few years ago that I really wanted to be the healthiest, strongest version of myself. I take care of now 2 family members with dementia, and I just didn't want to go down that path. I have clients in my facial business. I've owned a med spa for over 20 years that have really had their bodies break down, and they're not happy with how they look and feel, and I just didn't want to go down that path. So I created another business called Firm Over 40 a few years ago to help women age with confidence and strength, where I help them with their nutrition, their fitness, their mindset, and their skincare routines. So aside from owning the spa, I also am a personal trainer and nutritionist. I like to help women really age with confidence, strength, and independence. When I was on the track to increase my protein, I really noticed a big difference in my skin and in my hair and everything when I was increasing my protein and when I got to way over 100 grams of protein. I noticed my skin was starting to tighten up. I had less cellulite. Obviously, I was doing other things. I do a 10 with Jen strategic workouts, which I go over with my clients in my program. And I do a lot of different treatments on the body, which I talk about in other videos as well. And I will be launching another more in-depth series because a lot of people have been asking me about the cellulite and the skin crepiness and things that they can do. And it really does involve a pretty strategic approach that I've been using in my med spa for a long time that I want to simplify and give you so you can do it at home. So be sure to like and subscribe so you are notified when those videos upload so that you have more tips and tricks to help you with the skin on your body as well. But today I want to focus on the protein powders and really help you navigate through knowing what to do with them and what to buy. Now, I'm really not associated with most of these things I'm going to show you, except for one brand, and which is the OneUp brand. I found this brand literally years ago, though. I've been using this brand for like 10 years. And then I reached out to them to see if I could get discounts and coupon codes for my clients when I launched Firm Over 40. That's why I like the OneUp brand. I've been using them for years. I've tried other companies. Other companies have reached out to me, and I just didn't love their protein. And I'm not going to recommend protein powders that I don't really like or enjoy, or there's a lot of additives or coloring in them. So that's why I really like OneUp. OneUp recently launched their clear protein, which I love because it's only 80 calories. It's 20 grams of protein. There's not a lot of additives in it. It's just clear, so pretty pure as far as protein powders go, and it tastes more like a juice. Now, I don't use it as a juice. A lot of my clients in my program like it as a juice. I like to add it to my yogurt because I'll just buy plain Greek yogurt, and then this way I can change the flavor. So this way I have a sweet tooth. I like this lemon one. I like their sour peach rings, their peach mango. They have a lot of great flavors and it changes the taste of my yogurt. So it just mixes up my yogurt for me night to night. So that's my one source. I have this as my before I kind of go to bed snack. Mixing protein powders in your yogurt, that's one way to use them. And there's so many flavors out there. This is whey isolate. So whey is the number one protein to use for building muscle. Everybody will tell you that, but whey does come from dairy. So some people have an issue with it, but there is one filtered down version, which is called ISO. So OneUp has this ISO whey. So it's filtered down more, a little bit better if you do have a lactose intolerance issue. But if you're only having one serving of protein powder a day, you might be fine with just one serving a day. So that's something that you're going to have to play with. This would be easier on digestion and your stomach if you have issues like that. If you're looking at OneUp, they have the ISO. So this flavor, salted caramel, and they're always launching new flavors. Like every month or two, they have new flavors. So I like to add them to my coffee. Like I said, add them to yogurt. I make protein ice cream. I have the Ninja Creamery. I also make ice pops with them and mix them just with the water and make ice pops, or I make creamy yogurt pops. I make little yogurt bites. So put them on like parchment paper and freeze them. So they're quick little nibs almost that you can eat. So I like that. So I like that they're always launching flavors. So pumpkin spice, I'll have, in the fall, or if I'm in the mood for pumpkin. I like them, one, because their ingredients are pretty good. Their macros are really good as far as high protein, lower carb. They don't bother my stomach, and there's just so many flavor options. Just keeps it fresh. Now, after whey, another really good full protein source, right? Because all protein is not created equal, which we'll continue to talk about. But there is something called egg white protein. Some of them are tasteless. I still kind of taste a little bit of egg in this, but you can use this in a lot of recipes. So a lot of people use egg white protein to make a meringue on certain dessert. They will mix into other protein powders to make it creamier. So it's just another way, another option for you to get in protein if you are having a problem. Just creative ways to get in more protein. This will make your other protein powders a little creamier. If you are making like a lemon, if you are making like a lemon little yogurt cup, then you can take the egg white and beat it up and make like a meringue, and then you have actually even more protein within that dessert. If you guys want me to do videos on how to make certain things that I like to make, I eat a chocolate brownie a lot because I have a sweet tooth, then let me know down below and I could do a whole video on like cooking things for you. But there are a lot of channels that do that already. So I just wanted to give you ideas about what the difference in protein powders actually are. Now, this is a whey casein blend. It's a little bit harder to find whey casein blends. OneUp doesn't have one. I wish they did. You can also find a full casein blend, and these are slower digesting. They're good before bed. They keep you full longer, but these are amazing to use if you want to bake with them or put them in the microwave. A lot of times, if you put a whey protein and you want to make like a protein mug and put it in the microwave and cook it, unless you add other things to it, it can be a little bit dry. I do have tips and tricks for that too, which we can talk about a little bit later in this video. But the whey casein blend, and this one from Flex, I love. I haven't been able to find that many other brands, but I haven't looked that hard because I love this one. I have the vanilla so I can change the flavor. And then I have the chocolate because I have the sweet tooth. So the chocolate fudge brownie one I love, and I utilize this with, I make a protein brownie. So I mix it with cottage cheese, and then I put a little extra cocoa powder, some Truvia, microwave it, and it makes an amazing brownie, or it makes a great dip to have with fruit. This will microwave really, really well. Now, vegetarian protein powders are super popular. I know I used to eat them all the time. I used to always use this brand called the Protein Works. I think they're out of Canada. I used to have all of their flavors, and I really, really love them as well. But I do not think they're like a full protein as much as the whey protein. So in order to be a full protein, you need to have, I think it's 2.5 grams of leucine. And most protein powders that are vegetarian or vegan do not have that. They can be a complete protein. If you take the vegetarian protein and you see there's pea protein in there, that will make it a complete protein. It's not as good as whey. It doesn't have that leucine count that you need in order to really have muscle protein synthesis in order to build muscle. It's fine, it's great, it's better than like the ones that aren't a complete protein. But in order to really build muscle as you get older, it's so much harder for us women if you're over 40 or 50 like me in order to build muscle. So I switched from the vegetarian ones. I rarely use them. into the full whey options, and I do notice a difference in my body. You know, I've changed other things as well. I've changed my workouts. I don't do long, intense workouts anymore. I only do short, intense workouts, and I do more daily walking. So that has completely changed as well. These do cook up pretty well in the microwave. I used to make them in the air fryer. I used to like just play with it and mix with water and put in the air fryer and make like little cakes. And then this protein brownie one is really good, but it's not, the macros are a little bit fattening. But now that I make the protein brownie with the flex protein powder and the cottage cheese, it's not as good as that. That's really good. But the protein count on the brownie that I make can't beat it. Another way to get in protein, a full perfect protein, is this perfect aminos. So there's different flavors. I do not love the way these taste, so I will also mix these with yogurt in order to dull the taste of it. I don't love it. Some of my clients can drink it in water. I cannot get it down. The perfect aminos are a way to get in all the essential amino acids that you need, including the leucine, in order to build muscle. So if you're eating a meal that's really low in protein and you need to bump up the protein, this is like a really great way to do that. Or if you're eating the protein powders that are vegetarian, I guess you could do that as well. This Orgain one is super popular. They send it to me. I think I have a code. I used to have this a lot back when I was a vegetarian, but I just don't think it tastes as good as some of the OneUp ones, and it's not a complete protein. It's a complete protein because it has the P in it, but it doesn't have, it only has, if you look it up, 1.7 grams of leucine, and you need 2.3 or 2.9, I forget, I'll put on grams of leucine in order to have that muscle protein synthesis. So in order to get the over 2 grams of leucine that you need more of the vegetarian vegan protein powders, which means you're going to have a higher calorie food, a denser calorie food. And if you're trying to firm up and watching your calories and being in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight and firm up, then that's going to be a problem. So you need less of the whey versus the vegetarian option. If you follow Dr. Lyons, she talks a lot about this. She's not anti, and neither am I, anti-vegetarian. It's just if you are trying to build muscle and firm up, lose weight, lose fat, it's really harder on a vegetarian diet lifestyle because you just need more of the vegetarian foods in order to get the full leucine content that you need. And it just then creates a higher volume, higher calorie dense version of the foods, which is hard if you're trying to lose body fat. Not impossible, but just a lot harder. So from this body health company, I also got their perfect powder amino acid because this is vegetarian, but he also puts all the essential amino acids in there. So this is a complete protein and no GMO, gluten, soy, egg, dairy-free, paleo and keto friendly, plant-based. This would be an option if you're looking for a totally complete protein, or you can take your protein powder and maybe the vegetarian one that you have and then add the perfect aminos, which I guess is what he did in this one. I don't love the taste of this. And it is really expensive, but I wanted to try it and see. It's not horrible, but it's not amazing. I don't like a lot of his products, but the data is really good on his products. So I have a chart here on the leucine content, and I'll put it in the description below so you can have it and reference it. But say Orgain, 1 scoop has 1.7 grams of leucine. You need the over 2.3 target for muscle protein synthesis for building muscle is 2.5 grams of leucine. So Orgain has 1.7, whey protein has 2.6 to 3 grams, the egg white powder has 2.7, pea protein, depending on the brand, has 1.8 to 2 grams. So again, then you would need more of the pea protein in order to get to that threshold that you need. And then I wanted to talk about collagen protein powders. So that is even, it's 0.3 grams. So a lot of women will say, like, I put collagen into my coffee and consider that towards their protein goals. So collagen is amazing for skin, hair, nails, cellulite, all the things, but not towards your protein goals. It's not considered a complete protein, and it's even worse than all the others. So any collagen would have 0.3 grams of the leucine. Have your collagen if you have it, fine, but do not count it towards your daily protein goals that you have for the day, because it's not going to get you there, and you might be doing that, and that's another reason you're not getting the goals, reaching the body goals that you have. So the easiest way to use your protein powders, obviously, other than the smoothie, is to take the smoothie and freeze it in different ways to make ice pops and mix it with yogurt and freeze it, or put it in like a baggie and then make little dots of yogurt. So they're just like little chips that you can add to other foods. You can add them to your pancake mix. You can add it to oatmeal. You can add it to cottage cheese. I love to do that. And you can make little protein balls. So you can take your protein powder and mix it with like a little bit of water. I like to use sugar-free applesauce and some oats and like roll it together. And you can make cookies or balls and then put it in the fridge. So all different ways. A lot of times you can find a lot of recipes online. I like them to be super fast. I don't like the ones that are like a million ingredients. I don't have time for that. So I tend to help the women in my program with really quick, just like a few ingredients that you have or could get easily, like the sugar-free applesauce, pumpkin puree that lasts forever, and you can make a bunch of different things with it. So you have different options. Especially if you have a sweet tooth, it's really good to make little cookies, little bites, things like that. If you're still struggling, this is what I help the women with in my program. You can click the link below, set up a call. I help you with your diet, nutrition, your mindset, and your skin to help you firm up not only your body, but your skin as you are aging. So other things I like to add to my protein powders when I'm making things to intensify the flavor or change the flavor is, especially when I'm making the protein ice cream in the Ninja Creamery, that's amazing. I love pistachios, so I get the sugar-free Jello, and I literally use 1/8 of a teaspoon, like not a lot. So these like last you forever, depending on how much you're making, or if you're making like little cookies or something with it. I also like the sugar-free, the chocolate, the pudding to add to different things because it makes whatever you're making creamier. So that's like another thing I love to do. All different flavors that you can get in the sugar-free versions if you are fine and can tolerate sugar-free things. Again, it's such a little amount, but the pudding in particular just makes whatever you are making creamier. Now, peanut butter is a big problem for a lot of women that come into my program. Peanut butter, all the nut butters, I love the nut butters, but a lot of times they were preventing me from hitting my goals because they're very high in calorie dense. And a lot of people don't realize, they're just taking a quick spoonful and that's 1 to 3 servings. And that's a lot of calories. And then you can't hit your protein goals because you filled up on keeping spoonful of peanut butter. So there is peanut butter powders. They do not taste as amazing as actual peanut butter, but you can mix them with water. You can take a little bit of actual peanut butter or nut butter of your choice and just dilute it down with the peanut butter powder. I love peanut butter, so I like to add it to different shakes and my yogurt to make it a little bit more peanut butter flavor. But OneUp has a really good chocolate peanut butter and a really good peanut butter cookie. And sometimes if I want it just a little bit more peanut flavored, then I'll add the Naked. This one's really good. The Naked brand has a lot of good products that are very clean as well. So try some of these protein powders. Now an idea of the difference and making sure that you are getting a complete protein is really key. And if you want to change your body composition, there's all different flavors, try them. Let me know down below if you have other favorites that you like or how you utilize the protein powders. I love trying new things that are quick and easy. The more protein you can get in your diet, the faster your body composition is going to change, the better your skin, your hair, your nails is going to be. So I hope you like this. Comment down below any other things you're struggling with. I'd be happy to make other videos, and I will see you in the next one.